How are you, sir?
Good as yesterday. I want an answer in the triangle, you know? Over school, yes, that's my name.
Thank you for joining us and giving us your time. I think we're going to stay here for a little while today.
What do you mean?
Because you're a talker. But, it's a very interesting conversation that was being had down at the auditorium. Obviously, a lot has happened over the years in cricket in this country. You've played a massive role in that from the time you've started, and then obviously from a grassroots level. Just talk about your experience as a youngster, and then transitioning to a player with this brand.
The good thing about it, thank you very much for the question, but the good thing about all of this, you know, for me, I think, you know, play the game of cricket for fun. But one of the, I think the most important thing about it, because we never had expectations if you will represent your country one day, because as we all know that the cricket in the rural areas, it was just a game that get played, you know, during Christmas period time, where we call it Amacale Kusha, you know, so being taken out of that and then being sent into the white school, and then by someone who's telling you that you can make a living out of cricket, you know, it was that time that actually hit me, where someone, Greg Hayes, said, no, you are good enough, you can actually play for South Africa one day. And then straight away in 1995, I represented Border as an invitation against Kenya, and then that was a turnaround. And then a year after, I played for Border, and then a year straight away, I actually played for the academy, the national academy. So it continued from there, and then 1998, I played for South Africa in the first time in Australia, Sydney, yeah, my first ODI. So then, you know, the person that was the captain, Ansukonye, he came to me and says, boss, you've got a potential that if you keep doing what you're doing, you can be one of our heroes in this country. You're hearing that from someone that played the game of cricket, you know, more than you started, you know. So that only the time that I realized that if I can do what I'm doing now and continue, I can actually be a better person.
Your name was on the board alongside another big name, Ubamugam, from rivals to teammates,
yes.
And then obviously carrying the banner in a post-apartheid South Africa in cricket. You guys have sort of impacted not just the country but black players and players of color, and you've mentioned that although you've broke a glass ceiling, the ceiling is not broken enough.
100%.
Can you just talk a little bit more on that? I know it's a difficult conversation to have, especially in cricket.
And then especially, you know, it can be very controversial on the other end, and then we don't want that. You know, we want people to understand where we come from. You know, so the reason why I said that the glass is not fully broken, where we can have that kind of a freedom that every single black cricketer will have the same, you know, opportunity with that counterpart. You know, for me, it was one of those things that I differ to understand. You know, since we play the game of cricket, we still struggle to find, you know, a bunch of cricketers, especially when it comes to black cricketers, where you can have proper bavumas, you know, proper Kagiso Rabadas. Why we always have one or two players that they will represent the country, you know, and then we've been playing the game of cricket. I've retired 14 years ago, but we're still in the same train that we had at the time that I was playing. So that was my take within all of that. And then I think I hope that because of now KFC has, you know, celebrated 15 years, you know, and then we were part of that from the beginning, you know, of the biggest minute cricket. In the other people's eyes, you know, it could change, but with the others that they work, you know, behind closed doors, they are the ones that they need to push it, you know, not to be struggling. Look at the World Cup, last World Cup. We had only one black cricketer. Reason is what? Nobody can explain to us, you know, but we have lot of talent in this country. This is a country that we should not even suffer to find, you know, black cricketers. You know, I know that the football has been the pillar of South Africa, but now cricket has taken over, and rugby. Look at rugby. How many black people that are playing rugby? Why we cannot be the same? And then being in a position where we don't have to look left or right. Why don't we go to Rassi and ask Rassi, how do you do it? So that it can impact, the talent that we have in cricket. So those are kind of things that I think, by thinking out loud, we should, having a partner with how the other counterpart do.
Earlier you called on the CSA CEO, Mr. Paletsi, to call on former players and legends
100%.
who have experience in the game, who have experience with the adversity that perhaps you have faced as a youngster and as a player as well. And then now also just joining KFC Mini Cricket, to sort of do that. As you're calling that, what's the plan? What's your role with this?
I don't have a role. I was just sitting there, trying to show them that we are available. They must not look at us and say, these guys have retired. They want to run away, not being part and parcel, because they never come and ask us. That's one of the things that I think, it makes it so much, different to be coached by someone who played the game. It makes so much different to be among the ones that they can easily turn your life around, and then for us, then, it's not only me who's saying that. We've got the likes of Ngames who are saying, the likes of, I would say, Mondezo Dekis, they've been part and parcel of the CSA, but where are they now? Why they never continue, doing the grassroots? I would love to be part and parcel of the grassroots, because I know exactly way and how to make an impact to the child that has no father point of view, but he wants to be part and parcel of what it's trending, which is Baker's Mini Cricket. So when they see us, all of a sudden they look at us and say, I want to be like Kagiso Rabada. And then for us, we can bring them close to Kagiso Rabada. Imagine then that child goes home where he had a picture with Kagiso Rabada, Tema Bavuma. What impact will actually bring into that child? So that's why I was putting that and say they must use us. Some of them, they don't even know us. If you go outside now, they don't even know us. Who are we? But we are not there. We've been hidden. Reason, we don't know.
Okay, then, so what do you think CSA can do to be more inclusive, like including all races?
Nobody, they just need to do what they know that is best for the country. Not what is best for a certain race. No, that's the thing that I said that we shouldn't be now in our lifetime still, being quoted, as a whatever quota players or numbers. We all talented. We all play the same game together. As I said, myself and Neil Mackenzie, we started from under 15s, and then we became friends because I don't think that when someone gets selected and play for South Africa, the quota system is still existing. No.
Do you have a little bit of hope when you see, for instance, in the T20 squad that's starting this for the series that's starting on Friday?
With India?
Yeah, you've got Simelane, you've got Mpongwana.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
they play as all-rounders. It's a different role.
No, I think it doesn't matter. Being an all-rounder, you do both. And then I think, when Rob probably decided that that's what he wants to do. And then this is where my problem will come. I hope this is not just for the sake of the number. And then these kids that you mentioned, or Simelane, they will be used. We want to see them playing, not just being on the bench and carry water. For me, that's not something that I want to experience. I want to see them. If he fails, he fails, and then he must get out and say, I was given an opportunity.
And just on that, do you find that, for instance, black and brown players probably have to be a little bit more exceptional and use their opportunities almost immediately, as opposed to others who are given more than one opportunity, perhaps?
You have to double up. And then if I can put it in the right manner, I look at myself and I said, what are the things that they were looking at, for me to be the best? First one was the fitness. If or will be beaten by either guy with doing the fitness, it will be on the front page the following day because I was second. So when you're talking about you have to be extra than the other one, that's the truth. As a black child or brown child, you living at the edge all the time. But if you are able to understand that, then it will be no problem for you to be successful.
Do you think our domestic circuit has enough black players?
Also by far. But this is one of the things for me that I think if CSA can go back to 12, because if you find the talent is on Division 2, and then if you go to Nyati, how many black cricketers that are there? How many white cricketers are there? 90% of Nyati is black. You go to Mpumalanga, how many? You go to Northwest, not even Northwest, the Southern District. You go to Kimberley. You're gonna see the talent, but the talent is hidden where? Division 2. But if South Africa can get sponsors and bring their old way of doing things, that's where we were found. And see if you're gonna have lack of finding black cricketers. No, you will never, because all of those keys that have been hidden now, because now there's a say that you can't select on Division 2. Why? Why you cannot select on Division 2? Why the Division 2 player cannot play for South Africa? That's where the talent is. Those guys are trying to push to get to Division 1, but they can't because of the 6 divisions. And then when you contract 15 players, you can't find those players because the only opportunity that they have is to go and play Division 2.
Last one from me, I
Yes,
promise. We saw the game, I'm not sure, probably you may have, the game between India and New Zealand yesterday, closing off quite nicely for New Zealand with the whitewash against India.
Yes.
Test championships
It's on the edge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nail biting. South Africa are fifth now after New Zealand's victory. But if you go earlier to this year, we sort of sent quite an average team to play against New Zealand. Do you think that was a little bit of a downfall? What's next for South Africa? Do you think we can crunch and get through?
If we need to win 3 out of 4, it's going to be a big ask. In South Africa, we have problem with the rain. We have problem with the ground that we are using. And then I always say that if you want to win, you need to prepare the wicket that you actually, I would say, if I can put it in the right manner, the wickets that you can easily frustrate the opposition. You can't take Sri Lanka to Durban and take Sri Lanka to Port Elizabeth. Well, we all know that that's a spin, wicket. What will you do if we can be struggle to play against a spin, and then it's going to be a very difficult for South Africa then to finish the games the way that they finish it in Bangladesh, because Sri Lanka is a different country. And then Sri Lanka, they have 8 players that actually can bowl spin. Bangladesh, yes, they had 4 or 3 of them that they could bowl spin, but you can't have a country that we know that it has the lack of mullah return. If they can spin the ball in any surface. Those guys have learned from those kind of players that they played before them. And then some of them, they actually get seen being a net bowlers, and all of a sudden they play their countries and then they perform because they have learned how to bowl the ball. They've learned how to create an opportunity for people to catch the ball. So it was one of the things. Bringing subcontinent, you send it at Wanderers, you send it at Newlands, then you can dominate. You can't send them to their favorite, places. Yes, I know that the crowd and the people that they follow their cricket on the other side, they are there in Durban or Port Elizabeth. I don't know. Someone probably will see it in a different way, but if you bring in subcontinent, boy, they must feel it that they are in a different country.
Well, Makhaya, just recently, we saw Kagiso Rabada reaching
number 1.
That's
the best position.
What are your thoughts? You were first bowler.
Rabada is my hero. He's just reached 300, test wicket. And then he's the 6th to get there. So he's chasing you know, the milestone that nobody else has ever achieved it from the black cricketer's point of view. You know, now he's just past Moko, and then he's getting closer to Alan Donald, and then after Alan Donald, he will reach me, and then after that is Sean Pollock and Delstein, and then if he can manage to do that. But the problem that we have then, it's the number of Test cricket that we're playing in this country. You can't have 2 or 4 for the year. How will get then being able to reach those goals? It would be difficult. He has to take 15 wickets a game for him to be number 1 in South Africa, and then which is one of my wish. I don't want to lie.
Is that an issue that you feel like CSA has to?
Yes.
has to rectify?
He's 29. Eh? He's 29. And then how long will he get then? Play? I played until I was 33. Do you think he's gonna get 33? No, he can't, because there's more money on the shorter version of the game. He can reach to 350 and say thank you very much. I want to pursue the different, way of playing, because you look at now how many players that they actually no more or longer playing Test cricket. Quinton de Kock is one of them. So look at that.
Thank you.
Wonderful.